Antonio Brown, Lord have mercy. He retired as a Raider. He went there, then he froze his feet. He caused all this controversy to try to get traded. He badmouthed the coach. He badmouthed the quarterback. He badmouthed the general manager. Never played it down and then got cut. If you just stick to the football field, he's a Steeler legend. That 6-year stretch that he had is literally unmatched. If you had Antonio Brown on your fantasy league team, he led you to fantasy league football victories. Him by himself. Does he deserve to have his number retired? Absolutely not. You can't be bad-mouthing your quarterback like that. He burned every bridge that Pittsburgh has. And there's a whole bunch of bridges in Pittsburgh. But is he still a Steeler legend based on what he did on the field? 100% absolutely.
Welcome to Big B Daily. No frauds allowed.
What is going on, everybody? What is happening? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Big B Daily. This is your man, Brian Hanley, Big B. I appreciate everybody being here. What is going on, man? We got a weird show today. It's almost like it's the dead period. You know, the period after basketball is over, before football starts. Well, before the NBA Finals starts, we're kind of in that little dead period today. So here the next few days. But we're making it. We're making it. We got some stories to cover for you today, man. What's popping in the news? Another player gets popped for gambling. Absolutely insane. When are these athletes going to learn? These leagues are not messing around. Then down goes the Deontay Wilder. I think it's over for Deontay Wilder. He got knocked out this weekend. It looked horrible in the 5th round. I think his career is over, and good for him. But we'll kind of go through a little bit of that. And then more on the Caitlin Clark. What happened? We're going to talk about that even more in a little bit more detail today. So we'll bring you up to date on all that stuff. If you don't already know, you'd have to be living under a rock not to know what's going on with that. So we appreciate everybody being in here, man. This is what we got going on. Thank you guys for joining the show. Again, if you like what we're doing, remember, tap the screen, like, follow, subscribe. If you want to support the show, you know how to do that. You can always super chat to run the conversation. You can always send live tips, all that good stuff. We appreciate that from everybody. Thank you very much. Let's get into the show. So first things first. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this guy's name, but it looks like it's Tupacita Marcano. Faces a major league ban. Not a household name, baseball player, played for the Pirates last year, but he got caught betting on the Pirates last year. Now, he wasn't playing. Let me just throw that out there. He wasn't playing. He had torn his ACL. He was on the injured list, but he got flagged for betting on baseball, and he is facing a lifetime ban. I suspect that comes down here in the next few days to the next week. These leagues are not messing around with these players. Do not bet on sports. It's just that simple. If that's the rule, that's the rule. I'm not here to tell you whether the rule's right. I'm not here to tell you whether the rule makes sense. That's not what I'm here to do. Because personally, as long as you're not betting on your specific sport, I don't think it's that big of a deal. However, if the league that you participate in tells you that you cannot bet on sports, then you just can't bet on sports, and that's the end of it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So somebody said, why are teams banning players while on IR? First of all, the teams aren't banning players. It's the league is banning players. The league says you can't, if you want to be in this league, you can't bet on sports. Period. End of story. I don't know why that's hard to understand. I don't even know what your question is. Why are they banning that while on the IR? Just because you're on the IR doesn't mean that you don't have information about the team. I mean, what, are you serious with that? Come on, man. Just because you're hurt doesn't mean you don't know what's going on with the team. And by the way, the league says you can't bet. So if the league says you can't bet, then you can't bet if you want to be in the league. If you don't want to be in the league, then you don't have to be in the league. Nobody makes you play professional baseball. They're not forcing you to play. And then you can bet all you want. So, not to mention, he got caught betting on his own team. So, that's another strike. He's going to be finished. He's going to be finished. I don't understand why these athletes, the people that are chancing this, what they don't understand about that. But more importantly, I don't understand people that can't get that. For instance, at your job, if they tell you can't smoke weed and we're going to test you for smoking weed, even if it's legalized in your state, if your job says you can't smoke weed or you can't work here, guess what? You don't smoke weed, and if you get caught, you get fired. Isn't it the same thing? It's not hard to understand, people. How about you just do this? Just don't gamble. Just don't do it. Or don't play in that professional league that doesn't allow gambling. One of the two things. So, one of the two things. That's my whole thing. Figure it out. Just figure it out. That would be my only thing. Is just you can either not gamble or you can, you can not play in the league. Calvin Ridley wasn't gambling on NFL games. It was college games. That's what Calvin Ridley, but Calvin Ridley did it from the complex. That's why he got in trouble. And either way, you cannot gamble. And it doesn't matter whether you're on the IR. You're going to have to stop saying that. Stop asking stupid questions. It doesn't matter whether you're on the IR or not. You're participating in being paid by the National Football League or Major League Baseball or National Basketball Association. You cannot gamble. End of story. I don't know why that's hard to understand. So, Lord have mercy. And it's just, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. My man, Pat Cockrell, when are players in these leagues going to learn? Somebody, anybody, make it make sense. I have no idea, Pat. I have no idea. I don't know when people are actually going to learn. One day, maybe they will. Maybe they'll say, hey, we'll learn, we'll stop gambling. Maybe it'll be a thing. Maybe it'll be a trend that people just stop doing it. But until then, this is what we've got. So, okay. You can't affect a game that you're not playing in. That could be one of the dumbest statements that I think I've heard anybody make. What do you mean you can't affect the game? You know knowledge of what's going on the team. You know who's hurt, who's pitching, who's not playing well, and then you're betting on your team. Lord, stop making dumb statements, man. Jiminy Christmas. That's why. Not to mention, they tell you can't do it. How about that? How about the person that pays you says you're not allowed to do that? End of story. Can we just go by that? Or no, we're going to do whatever we want. Lord have mercy. Golly. You can't affect the game because you're not playing. But you can affect the betting. You know what's going on with betting. You have an idea there. You have an advantage. Oh, my God. Again, like I said, and I guess, never mind. I'm asking why people don't understand. And I guess some people that keep going on and on and on trying to defend somebody gambling, I guess I understand why now. Because we've got people like this that keep defending these people and saying it's no big deal. Well, if it's no big deal, then why do they have the rule? And why do you think that Major League Baseball, that these professional leagues have a rule that says no gambling? Why do you think that? Do you think maybe because they have insider information on how the outcome is going to be and that the game could be compromised? Is that it? Or are we just, no, that can't possibly be it. Then you can't shave points or drop a pass or fumble the ball. Never mind. I see why. I understand why these athletes continue to gamble and put their professional careers on the line. I understand now. I was going to say I can't get by, I can't get past it, but now I understand because we've got people like this. My man, Willie Smith, over on TikTok, defending them. They can't shave points. So if you're the only way that you can affect the outcome, it's the integrity of it, my man. How about that? Just leave it at that. But it is what it is. My man, K-Net, it isn't about you betting on your team or any other team. It is who you are in debt to. And they're betting on your game is the worry. Exactly. Because sooner or later, for instance, when you gamble, you don't win. The house always ends up winning. How the hell you think all those damn resorts get built in Las Vegas? It ain't because people come there and kill Las Vegas and leave. That's not how they get built. I go because people lose. And sooner or later, you keep betting to this guy, then you can't pay him. Oh, by the way, I need you to drop a ball. I need you to strike out. I need you to do this. Boom, boom, boom. The integrity of the game is gone. And it doesn't matter whether you're playing or not. If you know who's playing good and playing bad, it's the integrity of the entire sport. Stop the nonsense. Point shaving has never, ever happened in any league. OJ says OJ Simpson. That could be one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard in my entire life. But okay. I mean, a damn referee was thrown out of the NBA for control. Oh, my God. Lord have mercy. But that's, I usually don't engage. It just, oh, my God. I try to do my best to try not to talk to people in ignorant terms. But when people say ignorant stuff, what are you supposed to do, people? You all tell me. Again, I want to learn. I want to be better. But when ignorance over and over and over again repeats itself, and then people they get online and they'll just say anything. Gee, many Christmas. Woo! Bottom line is the man's facing a lifetime ban for betting on baseball, for betting on his own team, and he didn't have to. He never had to do it. He didn't have to do it. Which brings me back to Ohtani. I'm still on the Ohtani 100% was involved in the gambling. He did it all. I'm on that. I'm 100% behind it. I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me that his best friend, the interpreter, and his best friend on the Angels, they both bet with the same guy, but yet Ohtani had no idea that $16 million was gone from his account. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to hear that. Again, I look at my account every single morning. I don't have near the amount of money that he does. You're telling me he never looked? He never knew what this money was gone? He never checked? His financial people just, yeah, $16 million gone. No big deal. Who cares? Not a big deal. Gee, many Christmas. Of course he knew. Of course he was involved. It's crazy. All of this is crazy. Yeah, Ohtani did it. And they're going to cover it up. And as well they should. So, and here is my man Joey. Yeah. What a waste. To lose it all over stupidity. Over your job basically telling you can't do something. You're going to do it anyway. Okay, well, you'll never have this job ever again. Ever. ever again. So good luck. Good luck. And it's not like he can just go, oh, well, he can go to Japan and make some money. And first of all, you don't make the same kind of money over there. Second of all, they're not going to let you play. They're not going to let you do that. They know who you are. They're going to have researched you. It's over. His baseball career is over, all over gambling. Stupidity. Just stupidity. So, if baseball bans or disciplines anybody, best believe they did it. No investigation needed. Yeah. Exactly. That Ohtani is not getting, nothing is ever going to happen to him, people. They've already decided what the outcome of all that's going to be. That we knew exactly what happened when it first came out and they asked Ohtani and he said he paid off the debt for his friend. We knew that's exactly what happened. Oh, and then 45 minutes later, it was, oh no, he stole the money. Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Look, never a time in my life that I think, oh yeah, I paid off my buddy's debt. Oh no, it turned out, no, he stole the money from me. Huh? What? Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear it. Get out of here. So, but what's going to happen, it's going to end up being somebody huge. Somebody that's got a big name that's going to get suspended. At some point, that is what's going to happen. Somebody with a big name is going to get in deep, and they are going to get suspended. Or maybe people come to their senses and they're like, you know what? I got way too much to lose. I am not going to mess around with this amount of money and over gambling. So hopefully that's what happens. Hopefully that's what happens. So I'm not sure when that day will come. So, K-Ned, always have a fall guy. Yeah. Yeah, Pete Rose needed a fall guy. I love that video he came out with. Said he needed an interpreter. Everybody needs a fall guy, you know? And again, Ohtani's interpreter, he's going to come out smelling like roses on the other side, man. He's going to go to jail at a club fed for about 18 months. He's going to get deported back to Japan. And he's going to have about $25 to $50 million in his pocket, man. Don't feel too bad for him. He'll be all right. He will be all right. He's going to be all right. So we'll see exactly what happens, man. But yeah, a lifetime ban for betting, again, to me is just idiotic. Just idiotic. There's certain things you can and cannot do. Betting is one of them. Sorry. Just can't do it. Just can't do it. Let's move on, people. Let's move on. So, Deontay Wilder. He is in the news. If people didn't know, he had a fight this weekend on Saturday. And if for people that don't know, Deontay Wilder, American heavyweight, the former heavyweight champion of the world, lost a trilogy. He lost 2 of the 3 fights with Tyson Fury. He has now lost 4 of his last 5 fights. He got knocked out in the 5th round. It was an ugly knockout. Got hit with a punch, spun around, was pointing at the red, had no idea where he was, but he was still on his feet, and then got just clubbed and just knocked completely out. It was disgusting. But that's what happens, man. When you're past it, it's over. So, and this is a good point, and I've said the same thing. Deontay wasn't the same after the last Fury fight. You're right. He wasn't. I don't think he was the same after the second Fury fight. But he definitely wasn't the same after the third one. The first one, okay, it ended in a draw. The second one, I'm like, He didn't look good, but they blamed it. They try to blame it on a mask or something like that, and he was drained. The third one, he just got beat up. He got fit. He just wasn't the same guy. And the thing about Deontay is, he didn't start fighting until he was 18 years old. He was a puncher. He didn't grow up learning how to dodge punches or anything like that. He just had a hell of a right hand. He wasn't a good boxer. He was strictly a knockout artist. And it worked. It worked. He became heavyweight champion of the world, without really having any defense, without really even being a good boxer. It worked. But it is now over for Deontay Wilder. He needs to ride off into the sunset. The big paydays are over. And unless he's broke, then there's no reason for him to fight not one more round. Not one more round. They make some appearances, places like that, but he can't fight anymore. He can't. And hopefully he's not broke, because he's made a lot of money in his career. I know boxing is literally one of the most corrupt sports out there. Promoters taking money from fighters and all this stuff. So hopefully that he understands, exactly what's going on, and he has money. He knows what's going on with all his finances. But yeah, Deontay Wilder doesn't need to fight anymore, man. He just doesn't. So he just doesn't. Yeah, continually getting picked apart, either knockout or nothing with that. And that's what it was. It was a knockout or nothing. So he has no comment on his future. He said, but here's how you know that it's over. Before the fight, he said, if I lose, it might be my last fight. If you're saying that, you've already quit. If you're saying, hey, if I lose, this could be my last fight, well, you've already decided that it's your last fight, and you don't even know if you can win. Anybody that starts talking retirement is already got one foot in retirement. And that was Deontay Wilder. Again, I applaud him for what he was able to accomplish. He is not a seasoned boxer. He never was. He was a puncher and a knockout artist, and it took him all the way to be a heavyweight champion of the world. Great career. Some people said he's going to the Hall of Fame. I don't put him in the same class as Hall of Fame boxers, but for what he was able to accomplish, maybe he does deserve it. Either way, it's time for him to stop boxing and do something else. I don't know what else he can do, but it's time to be done with boxing. He's past his prime. He's past it in general. And that's okay. That doesn't mean he's bad. It happens to everybody, man. If it can happen to Ali, it can happen to everybody. When you get past it, you're just past it. And your body doesn't recover the same. After you've been knocked out, you're never the same. Well, he's been brutally knocked out several times. This last one was even worse because, again, he got spun around and he was looking and pointing at something and then just got leveled and knocked completely on his back. It was over. It was over. I was hoping that he would have fallen down before he got hit again, but he didn't. It was just brutal. It was brutal. So I think it's just time for Wilder to call it a day. Great career, outstanding accomplishments. He was a bronze medal winner in the Olympics. He was a world champion, a heavyweight champion. Had a great trilogy with Tyson Fury. Had some great battles. He didn't come out on the upper hand on those battles, but it was a great battle. Give him credit. He fought. He definitely fought, but it is time for Deontay Wilder to call it a career. It's just time. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. Had a great run. But it's time for him to just say, you know what? Let's move on. Let's move on with my career. So what do we got here? He can fight Jake Paul. Nah, let's not do that. I'm not a Jake Paul anything. Tyson had to bow out and have a replacement. Yeah. I didn't think that Mike Tyson was ever. First of all, you're fighting a 58-year-old man. I mean, you knew it was a farce right from the beginning. Right from the beginning with Jake Paul. I am over Jake Paul. I was never into Jake Paul. And I'm never going to spend 1 cent of my money on a Jake Paul fight. I'm never going to do that. Never in my lifetime. Unless he becomes a legitimate boxer, fights legitimate boxers, and we can watch him fight one. Because the only boxer that he's fought, he got beat. Imagine that. Imagine that. He fought one boxer and he lost. Yeah. So it's just, they have literally made a mockery of boxing. They have made a mockery of boxing. And people have fallen for it. They have fallen for it. So they love some Jake Paul. And he's just made an absolute mockery of the sport of boxing, and people are buying into it. He's getting filthy rich off of it. Good for him. He found a niche. And people, they'll just buy anything, man. They will fall for anything. It just, Lord have mercy. But that goes to show you, and why people will fall for something in America is because we love boxing and we're starving for an American heavyweight. We're starving for something. And if we get any kind of glimpse of anything, we will go to a boxing match. Because again, remember, we did our top 5 all-time sporting events in America. And a heavyweight boxing match was in my top 5. Being live at a heavyweight boxing match. Yeah. Well, people still love boxing. They'll go. They love to see the sport. We want to see somebody get knocked out. And Jake Paul gets these people that aren't boxers, that are past their prime, and he's knocking them out. So people will go and see that. It is what it is. Good for him. He's found a niche, but I'm never spending a cent on it. Either way, Deontay Wilder, great career, spectacular career, but it is time for him to hang it up. And if I was anybody, if I'm his trainer, I would refuse to train him. If I'm his manager, I would cut ties to managing to fight again. If I'm his promoter, I would say, nope, I'm not promoting you to fight, not one more day. But none of that's going to happen. Those people are just as money hungry as the next person. And they're going to want him to go fight so they can make some more money. Versus looking out for his best interest. They won't do that. That's how boxing is one of those. I mean, it's been corrupt for over 100 years. They don't look out for their best interest, for the boxer's best interest. They look out for their own. It's sad, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, oh well, what are you going to do? Let's move on, people. Let's move on. So, continuing with Caitlin Clark. So now this, Kennedy Carter is coming out. She came out and said what she said. We talked about that yesterday. I called her a coward, and I'm not backing off of that. You were in a press conference right after it happened, and you said you weren't answering any Caitlin Clark questions. Then as soon as you got behind Twitter and Instagram, all of a sudden your Twitter and Instagram fingers got to working. And, you found the courage. You found that courage to say what you wanted to say. To me, that's coward behavior. But it is what it is. But looking at more of the dust up, and now it's starting to come clear. Everybody has to talk about it. Look, yesterday they had a big blow up on ESPN about it. Monica McNutt called Stephen A. out and said he wasn't talking about the WNBA 3 years ago. And Shannon Sharp at the very end, I don't know if people caught it. He's right. He said nobody was talking about the WNBA 3 years ago. Nobody was talking about it. It wasn't news. And on First Take talks about news. And there was nothing in the WNBA that was newsworthy enough to be covered on First Take. But Stephen A. bounced back and said, hey, we've put up plenty of women. But what starts is, hey, women, you need to support the WNBA first. You want men to support it, you go support it. When you do, then you can talk to us about what we need to do. But don't be bad, and I wholeheartedly agree. Don't be bashing men on not supporting something that you yourself don't support. That's all I'm saying. Because you go to an NBA basketball game, there are plenty of women there, but the majority of people are men. So the flip of that on the WNBA, the majority of people should be women. And then there should be some men. You know, I talked to somebody the other day, and they were talking about the WNBA. And what they brought up was, well, where can I find the game? I'm like, they got a league pass. Just buy the league pass. I don't really want to buy that. I don't want to add that to my bill. I'm like, it's $40. Well, you spend more than that at lunch. Nope. Wouldn't do it. That's what I'm talking about. $40 for the WNBA league pass. That's all you got to pay. And people aren't willing to do that. But then you want to blame me and all men because we don't support it. We don't get behind it. Here, men are out there paying damn near $400 for the NFL Sunday ticket, and they have no problem spending that $400. No problem at all. But here we're asking somebody to spend $40. Nah, I don't want to do that. Then don't complain to me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And what's getting lost in this Caitlin Clark thing, and I don't know why more people just can't get this through their thick head. It's Caitlin Clark is not the best player. She doesn't have to be the best player, though. She is the most popular. There is no doubt about that. And she's bringing eyes to the people that are the best players. And what Stephen A was saying, and look, you can either agree with Stephen A or not, but he's right. You know, you don't have to like all the things that he says, but when he's right, he's right. And in this case, he's right. The resentment that these players have is a real resentment because they are jealous and they resent the fact that she is getting all this attention. And number one, that is true. They are resentful and jealous. But he also said, and this is also true, the jealousy and the resentment is justified because they have been putting in the work. They have been putting in the grind. They are the best players in the league, and they were not getting the shine that they deserved. All of that is true. So to be mad, I don't understand what the angst is about. Look, Caitlin Clark is great, but she isn't the best player in the league. And he's right about that. And Monica McNutt is so upset about people not covering the WNBA and being right about it. I mean, why? It wasn't popular. I mean, what were we talking about? So basically what you should say is, you know what? I'm sorry, Stephen A. You should have sacrificed your ratings and talked about things that weren't relevant in sports and possibly risked your own job to talk about the WNBA. Just say that, because that's what she's saying. But now the WNBA is relevant. Why? Because it has a star that people have gravitated to. Whether it's justified or not, that doesn't matter. I mean, how many times have we seen super popular actors, but they're not in the best movies, but they get paid top dollar, and people go and watch their movies, but they're not the best actors? Same thing with the WNBA. While Caitlin Clark is good, and I think she can be very, very good, she is the most popular player. She's not the best, but people are still going to watch her. So why not just use it? Why not use what she is bringing you to benefit yourself? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't get why people don't understand that and why they wouldn't understand it. But I know why. Because you have half the people out there that are screaming that Caitlin Clark is the best thing that's ever happened to the WNBA as far as a player. just her performance on the court. They keep talking about how great she is. Well, she hasn't done anything great yet. Nothing. Now, you could say she's the best thing that's happened to the WNBA monetarily. Popularity-wise, okay, I'm 100% with you there. But don't tell me that she has done anything on the court that resembles being great, because she hasn't. Hell, a guy that I was just arguing with right before we came on, he tried to tell me that Caitlin Clark was the Steph Curry of the WNBA. He actually said that to me. And I said, when did Steph Curry have 3 points in a blowout loss? When did that happen? And his response, Caitlin Clark's never had 3 points. That just goes to show that that people still aren't watching. Because the game after she got the cheap shot put on her, that she played the next Sunday, the very next day, which I know nobody knew because nobody's watching. And she scored 3 points in a blowout loss. So 3 points in a blowout loss. That's what I'm talking about. Somebody's asking, why are we talking about WNBA? Because you're on my show. You don't have to be here, Julius. And that's the whole thing. And I just don't get it. You're not paying attention because you're saying stuff about her that just isn't relevant. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it all out on why it has to be one or the other. Like, can't we wait until she's done something great to make her great? I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm just trying to figure that out. Can't we wait until she's done something great? I mean, I thought she was starting to figure it out myself. She'd had a couple of games. She scored 30 in a game. I was like, okay, here we go. And then no. But that's what happens with rookies. It's okay for her to struggle. Some people don't want her to struggle. It's like, hey, man, it's okay. You've got the people that will swear her shooting 1 for 10. Oh, it doesn't matter. She's great. That's nothing about 1 for 10 is great. And then you've got the other people on the other side. See, I told you she's terrible. She was 1 for 10. I'm like, can't there be a happy medium? Can't she be good and just, okay, she's just good right now, where she's going to figure it out? Let's go to some comments here, man. It drives me insane, some of this stuff. It drives me insane. So, bye, Julius. See ya. He said, one less follower. I used to be interesting. Well, nobody asked you to be here. But you know what? We can make that easy for you. Do. Bam. Simple. Simple. do. Yeah, they're saying that she's been. Look, I like Caitlin Clark. I think she's going to be great. But the one thing about her, right now, she's going through what rookies go through. She's getting beat up. That happens to a lot of rookies. She's learning physicality. That's happening to a lot of rookies. It just happens. She's got to get stronger. If you watch her play, she gets bumped and beat all over the place. And again, these are grown women out there playing basketball, professionals. They're not messing around. I love what Shannon Sharp had to say about it. These women are out there playing for mortgages, for families. They're not out there just jacking around. This is their livelihood, So she's got a little ways to go, man, before she gets there. She went 1 for 10 and lost by 36 points, 3 points against the Liberty. Yeah, that was the day after this big dust up and everything happened. That was the day after, but nobody was talking about that. Nobody wants to bring that up. Why? Because I still have the underlying opinion that still nobody's watching because nobody even mentioned it. Nobody mentioned it. So I don't know. Yes, I did say that weeks ago, my man Joey. Yes, like you said weeks ago, she might not be great. She might end up being average, and it happens all the time. There are people that have been spectacular in college, spectacular, and end up being okay at the next level. I don't even believe that that's going to happen. I think she's going to be great, but greatness is not something that happens overnight. Michael Jordan wasn't great overnight. He had some struggles. It's okay to struggle. And I think what people, and part of it is media driven because the media has force fed us that Caitlin Clark, she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. She's the greatest college basketball player, men or women, ever, which I can't even believe idiots would say that. Again, where's my man with Can? We got to lock those people up in a padded room and throw away the key. But whatever. But that's what people are doing. That's what people are saying. Okay, fine. Well, then she comes to the next level, and it's almost like people won't allow her to grow. She's got to be great right now. And if she's not great, see, I told you so. Or, yeah, she's great, and you're not even paying attention to the games that, when she's not playing bad. All you're still saying, yep, she's great. It's okay. She's great. I'm like, well, 1 for 10 ain't great. 3 points ain't great, but whatever. Oh, oh well. Oh, but Welby. I like Caitlin Clark. I think she's going to be fine. Number one, she's handled it the exact way that you're supposed to handle it. She's been professional. She's saying they're knocking me around. She hasn't retaliated. She doesn't need to retaliate. She needs her teammates to do that. I think her teammates are despicable. I don't care if their teammates are not fighters. I don't care that her teammates are not people that are going to get into a back alley brawl. I don't care about that. You can at least just stand up for her. I'm not saying you have to go fight or push or punch somebody, but you can at least go get in the way. Tell somebody that's enough. Say, hey, man, that's not necessary. Something. They're not even doing that. And you haven't even heard her teammates talk about coming to her defense. You haven't even heard them say, hey, yeah, I thought that was a cheap shot. We got to make sure that doesn't happen to any of us. You haven't heard her teammates say anything, which, like I said yesterday, leads me to believe there's a lot of resentment in that Indiana locker room as well. A lot of it. A lot of it. So that's all I know. I mean, I've been watching sports a long time, and veterans don't like rookies. And I've known that they don't like them. They don't respect them. But it's one thing not to respect them because they're a rookie. It's another thing to let them be disrespected by somebody else that's not on your team. There's a difference. There's a difference. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. We got the open mic session. Bring on the questions. Whatever it is you guys want to talk about, let me know. It doesn't have to be Caitlin Clark. It can be whatever it is that you guys want to talk about. You want to talk a little football, want to talk a little finals, college football, gambling, little boxing, whatever it is, Olympics. What are we looking forward to? You know, what are we looking forward to? It's one of those times. It's June 4th. You know, it's one of those times when things are kind of up in the air during the summertime. So what do we want to talk to? The one thing is, if y'all have noticed, I'm kind of sinking down in my chair. I got to start losing even more weight. My chair keeps falling down. And so now I look like I'm a midget on the screen. Unbelievable. And I guess I can't say that word, the M word, because I'll get canceled. I look like a little person on the screen. But it is what it is. What do we got going here? Boop, 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 boop. They're trying to toughen her up, says my man X Capone. Yeah, they are. And that's fine. I think that's great. I think in every league you have to toughen up rookies. I get it. I don't have any problem with it at all. I don't have any problem with it at all. So, looking forward to the Steelers adding a wide receiver, and my Yankees keep going strong. The Yankees look like they might have something this year, don't they? They are hitting that baseball. Now, look, I've told you guys before, I have checked out on baseball. My Mets are like 100 games out. I mean, they were out of it after the first week of the season, which is disgusting. Just disgusting. Who should I root for? I need a new team, man. I need a new team. I mean, I tried to jump on the Rangers bandwagon. I told you I live in the DFW area, but I couldn't do that. I just couldn't. Am I just stuck with being miserable as a baseball fan? It looks that way. It looks as though I'm just going to be miserable. Ugh. My man K-Ned, he is ready for Olympic basketball drama. Haters will be mad when Clark is on the team. I don't know. That's the whole thing. Is she going to be on the team? Now, she's not going to be the starting point guard. I can assure you of that because she's not the best point guard in the league. So she's not going to be the starting point guard. But is she going to be on the team? Because there are 12 women basketball players that are better than her. That's just a fact. There are. But is she going to be, are they going to put her on the team because they need to bring Caitlin Clark? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But there is definitely a sentiment of people that don't want her and do want her on the team. I'm going to love to see what happens. I'm going to love it. So here's a question that we had out there. The WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark is all about jealousy. 60% say that. Fair treatment of a rookie is 30%, and simple competitiveness is 10%. I agree with that poll, people, or anybody who participated. I think it's 60%. I think it is jealousy, and it is fair treatment of a rookie because what they're doing is what rookies get. But the reason that they're doing it, a lot of it's jealousy and resentment. There's no doubt about that. And again, I'm not mad at them for the resentment and the jealousy because, again, they've been putting in the work and they're frustrated that nobody was paying attention. But now that they are paying attention, then just continue to do what you do and people will get the eyeballs and see what they need to see. So, my man Brevin said the Yankees start off strong, but they can't perform in the playoffs. That has been a trend here as of late, hasn't it? That has been a trend. So, let's see here. O'Neal Cruz needs to get out of the slump, help out the Pirates' outstanding pitching. I always feel bad. You know who's playing well that's a small market team is the Royals. The old Royals. But I like small market teams to win. I want to see them win. Oh, it just came across the timer. Marcano gets a lifetime ban for betting on baseball. Yikes. Yeah, we knew it was coming. Lifetime ban. Betting on your own team. Threw your entire career away for betting on baseball. Stupidity at its finest, people. Stupidity at its finest. Banned for life because you couldn't not make a bet on your own team. Whew. Ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Caitlin Clark, when spotlight like she is a target. She's a target. She does, but she's also a rookie. It's fine. The Astros are going to squeak into the playoffs, then find their way back to the ALCS to crush the Yankees' hopes and dreams. Maybe. The one thing that I know they're counting on is getting some pitching back. But if the Rangers get pitching back, which it's going to come because they're going to get Scherzer back and they're going to get DeGrom back. If the Rangers get that, ugh. And if they come back and they are the pitchers that they were before, yeah, they're going to have something. They're going to have something. And they're talking about mid to late July for both of them. Ooh, yeah. So we'll see. We will see what happens with baseball, man. Royals won recently, like 10 years ago. They look good this year. The Pirates have great talent. They need a new manager, coach. And the Reds, what's going on with the Reds? I thought the Reds were going to be one of those teams. They got one of the youngest teams, super exciting. The Reds have fallen on their face. They have fallen on their face. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Think Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat. Does anybody think the Chiefs will three-peat? I mean, the Chiefs have had a crazy offseason. It has been nuts. From Rashee Rice getting into multiple dust-ups with the law. A defensive lineman getting to a dust-up with the law. Harrison Butker, whether you agree with what he said or what or you don't agree, it was still news for 2 weeks. You know, they've had multiple dust-ups here and there. But if you're really paying attention, other than Butker, now he's a key player, but other than that, it wasn't really to guys that are going to make a difference on the team. So, I don't know. I think they got a shot, man. I think they got a shot. So, my man Mo Talk Sports, Big B, shout out those Orioles. We're a contender as well. Yeah, the Orioles are. The Orioles are. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. So, hopefully that the Orioles or they can keep it up. The problem with the Orioles, I thought the Orioles were going to win it last year, and then they got smacked around by the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs last year. See, I thought the Orioles had something last year, and maybe that'll carry over to this year. Hopefully it does, and they get past that, but that was ugly last year. That was ugly. I was like, oh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. But you know what? Good for the Orioles because they're still fighting. I mean, they're right there. I mean, it's not like what are they, 2.5 games back or something? Yeah, they're right there with the Yankees. They got a shot. They got a shot. I'm looking at these standings. Yeah. The Mariners are trying to pull away. The Rangers haven't hit their stride. Neither have the Astros. The Twins are always a factor. They're still in it. Yeah. We'll see. And then in the National League, my God, Phillies, I mean, they're just blowing everybody out of the water. Everybody. I mean, the Braves are a good team, and they're 7 games back. Think about that. The Braves are almost 10 games above 500, and they are 7 games out in their division. My poor Mets are 16.5 out. Oh, my God. It's just disgusting. It's just disgusting. So, ugh. Let's see. Here's a good question. Is there a team that is not your lifer team, but you loved an era they had from afar? Example, he's a KC fan, but he loved We Are Family Pirates. Well, yeah, because I'm a Mets fan, and I like the Dodgers. I mean, I think it's because my dad was a Dodgers fan. But, yeah, I'm a diehard Mets fan, but I root for the Dodgers. I always have. I always have rooted for the Dodgers. Don't know why. Like I said, I think I do know why, because my dad was a Dodgers fan. So, that old skit, y'all remember that, it was Chris Rock said, old black men, all of them love the Dodgers. Well, my dad was part of that. So, yeah, I'm a Dodgers fan. I am a Dodgers fan. And the Mets are my love. Don't get me wrong. The Mets are my love. But I root for the Dodgers. I definitely root for the Dodgers. So, all right, people, we're going to shut this one down for today. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you, guys. Again, a couple more days till the finals. We'll get it ramped up for you. So, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central. We appreciate everybody being here on Big Daily. We will holler at you guys tomorrow. Aloha.